All right, here we are today. Let's do a little bit of this. There I am. Welcome to the stream today. We're going to continue off where we left last time by doing more game dev. We got right here. Last time we implemented the shotgun, and something I did since last time was I implemented an outline shader. So today I want to have the shotgun spawn in the room, which I haven't done yet, and I also want to make the spawner for the cache to be a little bit more dramatic, I suppose. So what I'm going to do is start by setting up the general pool of spawn items for and have the shotgun be in it, so then I don't have to manually spawn it in the game. And then one more thing, let's get rid of that. I don't want the console showing up, so let me get rid of that terminal. Here we go. So right now I'll click, we got some cache, and then I have shotgun spawn, and that's a nice power up. So I want to make those things happen automatically and somewhat in a predictable manner. Okay, so there we go. A little bit of starting details there. This game's programmed in C like C++ for the most part. I do use a little bit of C++ classes, but I'm not really spending a ton of time on that. Okay, so get into the Lua here. I want to think a little bit about how I'm going to do this. I suppose I need to use the map editor to configure this stuff, but I also don't want to spend a lot of time tonight in that map editor, because I find that map editor it's nice, but it's a bit of work to implement things. I'm actually building the map editor because I just want to show what I have right now. All right, looks like I broke the map editor. That's good enough. That means I can fix it. So let's fix it then. Oh yeah, I added some constants that I didn't put in the map editor. We'll add those. There we go, let's run that again. Okay, and then the new issue is that the player pickup. Okay, so I need to add some of the source code missing items, I think. Shotgun collect. Player pickup shotgun. Let's see where that is. Oh, I put it here. All right, well, let's just copy this. That was a mistake. Run that again. Okay, map editor works. Ooh. What? There's no way. I'm a little confused about this. There must have been something. I wasn't expecting to see the outline there, so let's just have a look. Render. outline location. So do have B outline. Oh yeah, okay. So I worked on this ages ago, and the outline shader wasn't working, and I fixed it. So now it is working, and we're seeing the results of that. So I had fixed the shader a second ago. Okay, so now I can actually hover over these, and that leads me to being able to select them. I don't have that in there yet. So I can set the player's spawn point, mess around with that. I can add more monkeys, which I don't really need to do. Press F5 and boom, it brings me into the game. But if I don't save, so I'm going to save and now do it, and now their monkey has shown up at the top left that wasn't there before. What I want to do is, I got to think about it, because the map editor right now is missing like tooling. It's missing a lot of tooling. It's missing, I guess what I would say is it's missing some way to visually represent what tools I have at my disposal. Yeah. Also, it would be nice to render the background. Like, there's obviously things that need to get done. Let's put that in there to do. All right. Some nice little things there. All right. I have U time. Why was I passing time into this shader? I guess I didn't use it, but it's in here. I guess it's just for have U time there for later. And I had B outline for later. I implemented B outline, and here it is. It worked. So back to the to-dos. Render the arena. I don't really want to do that right now. Have a somewhat predictable cat. I do want that. And it's so much easier to write the configuration for a level in Lua than it is to write that in the editor, but that's only because I just started the editor. So what I'm going to try to do is get the Raylib GUI working. What on earth? Okay. Interesting, that's great. Okay, Raylib. We got some images, so why not? Let's look at some of these. Window box, group box, toggle, ton of icons. This bar at the top. I haven't downloaded this. Okay, well, we'll come to that later. I really am not that interested in getting into that yet. What I'll do is I will make the output of a configuration, or sorry, the interface that the configuration will use in the game, and then go from there. So right now we have all these map spawners and things like that, and the spawner is about monsters. And at times, and so for spawning a pile of cash, it's similar as some of these things too, I suppose, but it's a bit more specific because it doesn't spawn at a door. These ones are specifically for doors. So I'm going to actually make a new struct, which will be spawn items, item spawner, map item spawner is what I'll call it. Okay, and then I'll just copy this. Okay, and then we'll say get rid of direction. Instead of position, we're going to do rectangle spawn area. Okay, and then we'll do spawn item count. And we want like a time, start time. It's when it starts, and then how long it takes. So I would say float, start time float, duration, so how long it takes to spawn all the things. We'll get rid of that and that. Okay, so now we've got our spawn area, rectangle. We've got the amount of items, start time duration, and then we'll do variety or count, not variety. And then we'll do an int star item type IDs. Great. So then we're going to need to take that and put it in the room. So a room like the map room is the template, and then the room is the thing. So in here we have spawners. So I'm going to add one called items spawner count item spawners. We probably want to have a boolean here for if it's done or not. Be done. We're going to need init methods for that and complete methods to have my methods in here defined. Yeah, so you have room. So we're gonna do one in here called, no, we don't need to do that. I think it's the resize methods down here that we care about. I don't need those yet though. These spawner methods would probably be helpful. Yeah, so we'll take these. There we go. And then we'll change it to item spawner. So struct room. Our spawners are up here, so we'll go back. Okay, yep, that's why that wasn't there. Start duration time. Okay, so everything I need is here. A lot of this is just going to transfer over. So let's go to GT Core. No, let's go to Smash the game. Okay, jump up here, and we're gonna basically force a. I guess I could make it part of the map load, and just force in a spawner and just make it part of the room. So we'll do that, and we'll do that in room init. Room init, yeah, just okay. So we're gonna do struct room. Where are you? Item spawner count. Plus 1. Item spawners is going to be spawners equals that. Item spawner star calog room item spawner count size of item spawner. All right, now what? Initialize. So I want to put in I just want to initialize the first one. So I'm going to do item spawner just cache spawn equals item spawner underscore init hash spawner 1 spawn item count. See, that's not right. So it's going to have all the stuff it needs, so I don't need to tell it anything. Do I have a spawner? I do. So we're going to make a new one called item spawner C++, bam. We'll do spawner here. Okay, great. Okay, on the right, what are we doing? We're taking this and we're allocating it. It's great and all, but Okay. Yes, okay. It's not built the same. It's not going to use the same. It's not going to use the same things. So let's get rid of all that garbage. Spawner be done equals false. We're just going to default a lot of this, but just to spawn item count. Start time, we'll just have that be 0. And then duration, we'll have that be 1.5 seconds. Item type count. This is where we need to do some allocations. In this case, I'm just going to force it to 3, and it's going to be the 3 cache types that I have. So then spawner, okay, and then we'll just do spawner. Let's do this. Cache. This will probably not work, but it's fine to try. Okay. That should get me relatively close to what I want. Okay, great. So that's that. Now I need to write the update method. So pass in the room, pass in the delta time. That's good for me. Let's see what we're doing here in spawner update. Just gonna yank most of this. If done. So that's a check here. We're checking to see if it's done. So my done check is not going to be the same. Matter of fact, the done check will just be if. In GG core, I'm pretty sure item spawner has spawn item count. So we're just going to go with that. Less than or equal to 0. Then it's done. All right, and then we've got spawner. If it's done, we're going to return. And here we want to iterate through our. We don't want to iterate. What we want to do is check if our delta time has passed. So we want to increment the time. Oh, shoot. So I gotta use room time and say it started. So let's do alright, so we got a start time. Get rid of this. So then if room, I know. If B started, then we do something. Else, we check to see you know what? No, that's not gonna work. We're gonna do if room dash room has a time on it, so let's go look at struct room, and we have the room time. If room time is greater than spawner dot start time, B started equals true. We're gonna do spawner B started. Oh, whoops. Okay. I'm going to have the distribution of the spawns be the diff of start time. No, start time and duration. So duration, so we take duration and we divide that by the amount of items, and that's how frequently we should spawn items. So that would be the spawn frequency, and I could calculate that every time. I wouldn't really care, but we need the total count that we started with. So let's do that. Struct item spawner. How am I going to know that we hit that frequency? So duration is how long it takes to spawn everything, but reality is we want spawn frequency. So why not just change it to frequency? That'd be easier to keep track of, but then you need to have some sort of time tracking here. So I'm just going to say spawner time. So how long this has been going, and then we could use that to track the time, and then that'll be what I base everything off of. So if I say duration this, and we're spawning, where's my count? Like how many items am I spawning? None? Okay. Let's just put in 50 for now. That's gonna bite. Then this will be that divided by 50. We'll change that to frequency. Better yet, you could just... No, that's good enough. Okay. Okay, so now if we're started, we need our spawner time. If it's started, I will increment that time. Delta time. Oof. I think that's that. Delta. Okay. Spawner time. It's a timer. I would rather use a timer then. Okay, so that gets added if otherwise we do nothing. Okay, great. So this will go until it's done, and then when we spawn it, I want to decrement the item, or the spawn item count. All right, great. And then we need to actually spawn it in the room, so that'll be like room something spawn item into room, which I think we already have. And then we're just having it go into one spot, so then I could do the random based off of the spawn area rectangle, which is based off of. So I want to actually, the spawn area is going to be the same no matter what. No matter what the room size. Are we coming off of the center of the room and moving it around? No, I'm going to always be the top left, or the position of the room is where I'm going to base everything off of. So that won't be that approach. I won't be using that approach rather. Okay, so spawn in room. Spawn item at location. It's called spawn item at mouse click, but it's not actually that. It's spawn at location, but then there's spawn item in room. That's the method I want. Spawn item in room, but I want to be able to pick a spawn area and have it spawn in that rectangle. So I'm going to add a method to room spawn item in room, and instead of position we're going to change it to rectangle. Spawn area rec. All right, great. We've got it. Spawn rec. Then we have spawn item in room rec. Then I'm going to pass in the spawner dash spawn area rec. And then we're going to actually implement this properly and do 50, 50, and then we'll do 25 by 25. Yeah, 25 by 25. Refine 25 by 25. Okay, so we got all that. Spawner area rec. We've got item type ID. So now I want to do a get random value 0 to 3, or 0 to 2, which is actually 0 to spawn item count minus 1. All right, and then that's going to be int item type index. Then we're going to say int entity type ID equals spawner dot item type IDs plus I. And then we'll just do int. I mean, how on earth have I been doing this everywhere else? Right here. Room, walls, I, that gives me a pointer. So we're going to be getting a pointer here. And we want to pull the value from that. And I think it's, oh, I don't know. We'll let it fail. Put a breakpoint. Maybe I'll be happier with that. Let's lowercase that. Okay, so now we'll go into Smash Hyperdrive. Room update. Item spawners. Okay, item spawners count, item spawner. Yep. I'm gonna pass in great. So that'll run the update. I think I've wired everything up. What I haven't done is write this new method. What was I doing here? Okay, I'm doing this stuff. So this is getting to be cumbersome. So ultimately, I should have this use that. And all I'm doing is translating from one method to the other. So in here, I need to do my randoms. So I'm going to do int get int x equals. We're going to get the range from the rectangle. So that would be get random value, and it's going to be spawn area rec.x to spawn area rec.width. All right, and then taking that further, I now need to get the room and modify that position. So now let me see here. I've got position X and position Y. Okay, so that is, yeah, interesting. So that's not offset by the room. But we need to offset this by the room because this stuff's not. Or is it? Is it? No, it's not. So I'm going to do it. There'll be errors later if I mess this up. I'm not too worried about it though. Oops. Come on, get out here. Plus y plus. And the thing that we're going to get is room. Position. All right. So let's see, method signature, room item type ID, and position. So that's literally going to be room spawn item Okay. I will get a compiler error because I know there's no way I get this on the first shot. Yeah. So there's something I did in here. Okay, so it's going to be item spawner. Okay, it's not that bad. Hey. Okay, so it says that item spawner init does not take 2. Yeah, that's fine. Run. Item spawner update and item spawner init. Yep. I gotta add the source. I made a new source file, so I have to add it to the project, which I did not do. Okay, done. Run. Okay, cannot open item spawner. Oh, what? No. There we go. Run, run, run. Let's go. Okay, now I'm getting better errors. Spawner time is not in there, so now we're going to go struct item spawner. So we've got spawner time, spawner timer. Okay, next. That's our next issue. Semicolon. Okay, I forgot. I should be catching some more of these, but it's so easy to just run off. Try to finish your train of thought. Get random value with an E. Okay, I think that's everything. Yes, it is. So if this were to work, we would be spawning things in the room as soon as the level started. It's not happening. So now I want to go in here and double check that we're actually in the item spawner. And then we'll put a few more of these like in here. And then all right. And then you need to put these in a new line. New line. Let's go. Okay, so it thinks that it's spawning things. It really does. So I'm going to, and we're in the loop, so I don't need that anymore, or that. when it does do the spawning, I'm giving the type index and the thing here. So spawn rec area, spawn rec area. I think what would make sense is to print here the entity type ID just to see that that's valid. And you know what? I'm going to put a breakpoint in that method just because I want to see if my entity type IDs list is valid or not. No, it's not. Types it's getting, I'm pulling it and it's like giving me a pointer. I think I need to use that dereference there, but I don't know if that's right. I don't think that's right. Okay, so got some bad coding practices. Okay, so in here, yeah. This is going to point to a pointer. So over here, the spawner type IDs is a pointer as well. So this is going to give me a pointer. And then from what I understood, I should be able to dereference this. But that's where I'm messing up. Okay, let's just run it, see what happens. Okay, so then if I go the other way, I should get an actual value. So then I'll put the breakpoint in there and check again. How am I getting entity type ID -1? That's probably because this thing's not initializing properly. So entity count, entity type count. So that's spawner item type count should be 3. We get 3 values, 1, 2, 3, and then down here, spawn item count. That's not it. It should be item type count. That's my problem. Let's run this again. Okay, that's good. So now we should be spawning, it should be spawning cache. I can't see the cache that it was supposed to be spawning. Okay. Oh, that was my left click. So we want to go into here, see what the random values are. 25, 50 to 25. That's funny. Okay, I know what I need to do. I mean, it's good. The types of issues that I'm having are super good. All right. Something I realized that I forgot to set up was my Twitch alerts, because I see the hydrate, but I don't hear it. And I had a Twitch alert sound or set up before, so maybe I just need to, there's something I need to connect back in, you know? Yes. I see the Gare Games wife. Great. But you're not napping. That means you're awake. Let's see. Well, anyways, I got to fix that for the next stream and get my my alerts back in. Okay. So these need to be area rec x plus that. And then this is spawn area rec y plus that. That gives you the whole range. That should make everything show up, so let's see what we get. Yep, that looks a lot better. So, nothing. You kidding me? Okay. Let's look and see. I'll reset this. Oh. We're going to have to stop that. Item type ID 4. That is correct. That's okay. Room item max index. So that would increase it. But I'm debugging on this side over here. So it is making the cache. It's adding it to the room. But what do we... 70, 69. I don't get it. Spawned in the room. I'm gonna let that run. And then I'm gonna do. What is it doing? Okay. Click. What I did is I forced it into the room, and yeah, it's all spawning, but is it going to show up? It did. Okay. Item type 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Cache. How are you? Whatever. Run this again. Testing. Hydrate. I'm gonna use up all your points. I forget what it's called. If it's like Twitch alerts or something. Set up Twitch alerts. I had it set up before, and it's not supposed to be hard to do. Streamlabs. There it was. Just gotta log back into Streamlabs. That was the one thing I forgot about. Okay, log in. Okay, alert box. Skip. No, I don't want. Just you know what? I'm gonna pick this one because it's kind of cool. Free theme. Just get the Dawn widgets. Okay. Done. So. Okay, and then I think, let me see, what are these things called? Redeeming redeeming things, power-ups and rewards, and then there's the hydrate, redeem, drink some water. Anyways. All right, well, I think I set up my follower notifications. Let me see if I can launch it. And then I think there's a button to test it. Okay, great. So now we have at least the following happening. But as far as the other things, I don't have those set up. I forget what that is. I'll figure it out later. Okay, so back to debugging. So what I'm finding here is I have no idea why it's behaving the way it's behaving, but it is getting to the point where it would try to make the thing, so just don't understand why it won't do it. And maybe it's because it's spawning. Oh, I bet you it's spawning over here and you can't see it. That's fine. I'll fix that. So the other stuff was spawning at like 300, 200. Let's do that. All right, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. So we're gonna make it do this at 175, and we'll put this at 200, and then I'm gonna increase this to a 50 by 50. Great. Okay. And then we'll give myself maybe 8 seconds to kill everything before it starts. That's nice. Ching. Okay. So that one will spawn after 8 seconds. There we go. I'm gonna make that be 75 by 75. Cool. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. And now the next step is to figure out... No, I'm done with that. That's good. So we have done. There we go. And then I would like to have something like that set up for the shotguns. It's the same thing, so then it would be a map configuration, and I need to figure out how to configure it in the map. So let's take a look at my structs for item spawner. Oh. Okay, GG core map underscore item spawner right here. And then we go to here, item spawner. Okay, so between the left and the right here we have spawn area, we have the count, start time. Look at that. So I have the start time and the duration. I can calculate the duration by dividing and doing that. So I don't need to change that. When it comes to spawning random items over time, I might say there are 6 items I want to spawn in this level over this period of time, which is the level. And that's like the max that would spawn. That would work for now. And I could put in the item type IDs list, like the shotgun and a few other things. That would allow me to spawn everything in the room. And that would work really nicely. So I'm going to check in what I have. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So then in the map editor, I'd want to be able to click on a spawner from a list. It shows it up on screen. I can change the position with the slider. So I'm going to want to look at the Ray GUI and see if they have any sliders. We do have a slider and we have a slider bar. I'm going to try to use those real quick. It shouldn't take long to load the map editor and just make it print to the screen a slider, and then I can just have that slider control some variables on a map spawner as a test, and then I could then create a list of things with a button for the spawn item spawners and just go from there. Okay, so here we are. So I want to add a list over here that's just populated and shows all the item spawners, maybe just all the entity types in the scene, so that I can pick anything. And then when I pick those on the right, I can have the editor. I've done this a million times. Can have the editor on the right. I think when we resize this, I shouldn't resize the window I'm rendering to. Just add more to the screen. Okay. And then I also need to be able to configure these doors. I need to see them too. This is just like abstract, works for me, but I'm sure people are going to get really annoyed. I need to be able to delete things. I need to be able to select this thing and delete it and have it go away. So I've got a lot of things I want to accomplish there. All right, so let's print stuff. I mean, I already have this, so I can switch my rooms. Yep, right here. Run that one. Test bum. There's actually spawners in this room. That looks good. Ching. Okay. So let's try out the slider. Raylib stuff that's like not extremely documented, but it's okay. So I don't remember if he had a picture with all the different items. He had a demo. Slider right here. Slider bar, slider. What's the difference? What's the difference? Slider. Slider bar. Is it just bigger? We'll use them both. Okay. So he has some code here. There's probably going to be in his examples. Oh, wow, I have to sign in. Do this every time, don't I? Okay, I will sign in, but I'm going to hide the window until I actually log in, so that I don't worry about any password stuff. Failed. There we go. Okay, and we are in. Ching. And of course, dark mode. Great. All right. We want slider. So let's type in slider. It's got slider. Slider's going on here. Vertical slider. Whatever slider. I want to see him using it. Slider rectangle, so that's probably close to it. Check. Nope, that's not it. Why are we... This is interesting, this UI, because if you click on something by mistake, it'll bring you into it, like it just did there. You don't want to bring it in there, you just want to look at things. Code, examples, custom. I don't want custom sliders, I just want regular sliders. Okay, well, I'm done with this. Examples. It's custom sliders. Standalone. Alright, well, we'll look at custom sliders then. Okay, GUI slider, finally. This is what I wanted. So, just copy this over here. Map editor, render. Okay. Paste. Okay, and enough of this. So, according to this, in GUI slider, I'm passing in a value, and it's a value pointer. So, to make this really dumb, I'm just going to do float value equals 0.0 that, and then we're passing in value and value pointer. Great. And it should just work when I run this. And then I should have a slider. And then we can look at the slider and see if it's doing what we want. No, parentheses not followed by standard thing. Oh yeah, because all of his examples are using syntax that doesn't work on Microsoft's version of things. Okay, great. Look at this. See that? It's a slider. It doesn't work for some reason. Shows up. I rendered it here. Ah, that's why it doesn't work. It's rendered as part of the the screen. It's not rendered on the screen. It's rendered on the background texture, and that's the problem. The virtual texture. I don't need it on the virtual texture. I want it on the outside of the virtual texture. So yep, there it is. So then there should be the GUI drop down right here. So perfect. Drop that there. Okay, run that again. That's good. All right, great. So he's going to have another example. So we're going to look at that next example here. So now I had the slider, but what about the GUI slider bar? I don't know what GUI slider bar is. So I'm going to look at the arraylib h file, and it should have, or the RayGUI h file, and it should say GUI slider bar. Here it is. So we have slider. The differences between the two are nothing. They have the same, the same like method signature and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it, let's just do 80. Same spot, but they're above each other. So let me check and see if there's anything useful there. Let's run it. Okay, we have two bars, and they've got the same value, and they're not different. What does that even do for me? Like, why? I don't understand that. But this is the tool that I will be using to manage the width and height of my rectangle. So I want to use that. I also want to have a list of objects that are in the scene and allow you to delete them, and then also have a way to reference them. So this stuff will go on the right. Great. I really don't like this this theme. I downloaded a better one the other day. I need to go get it again. It's hard to see stuff, like the comments. I want to see my comments. I don't comment out things so it's invisible. I mean, you can see it on the stream, but I don't like it. All right. Jump back to the RayGUI thing and see if we got any other control examples that I want to take. Drop down. It's not what I want. I basically want it's kind of like the drop down, but I want it to be visible, clickable. Something like this. This one right here. 1, 2, this thing. Controls test suite. This thing, the Charmander Bulbasaur thing. The Pikachu. And the list view with disable. I'd want these. So let's see. List view. So there's two of them. One I'm passing in something, and the other one I am getting it from somewhere else. And it's the X list view. This is a list with disabled elements. Amazing. Where's the disabled element though? How do I know it's disabled? Like, what is it that's telling it that it's disabled? I don't know. Let's just copy this in to my code and we'll go from there. Okay, we got both of those. What we need to do is get that list view. List view scroll index. There's a couple things here that I need to pull in. So we need to pull in to the scroll index and active, and oh yeah, these are all fun little booleans. Okay, so we just need these. Copy. Put these at the top because I don't really care. All right, run it. No, it didn't work. What are we missing? Expected an expression. List view scroll index is undefined. I thought I just defined that. List view oh, it's the wrong one. There's two of them. I knew that. Okay, we'll run that. Okay. Expected an expression. Parentheses follow up. It's a stupid rectangle thing. All right. Launched. Great, we've got our thing here. This is what I wanted with disable elements. This has that. Great. I got what I need. I can use these things for a lot. I can use these drop downs to control many aspects of what I'm trying to accomplish. So I could have one that's every item in the scene. So I could just list them all. And when you click it, so I click the one that says this, it then should highlight the particular thing, right? So then if I hit the monkey, here he is. And then at the right, I want to display its variables. What I could do, it's very easy to do this. With the type ID, I would be able to see I would know what relevant variables to put in here for the mobile entity. Then I can use that to help me edit the particular thing. So in the map editor, the enemies, there's enemies, items, and doodads. So let me think. Let me look at what a map room has real quick. Map room's going to have all of those things. So if I know it's I'm trying to figure out how to link them together because they're all different types or different structs types. So I would want to be able to select the walls, the doors, the spawners, the enemies, the item spawners, the items that start in the room. That's interesting. I have map item there, items that start in the room, but I haven't placed any of those. I didn't have any when I was working on this either. That's why I couldn't have placed them. That would be a good thing to test and add. So add spawn item in room. That would be great. That would finish that. Add a sidebar showing all the objects on the left. And actually, instead of just, making this difficult, I could just show a list of the spawners, the doors, the walls, and I could just have it be something with like a tab, and you can click like, I want to see the enemies, I want to see the items, I want to see the doors, the walls, the items spawned in the room, or starting in the room, the enemies that start in the room, the spawners. That would be easier. And this is a tool I'm using, so I don't really care too much. I don't need to show off either. So sidebar on the left can have a drop down. Enemy, item spawner, enemy spawners, doors, walls, and then when I select the relevant one, it shows it, and then I click it, and then it shows me on the right side their relevant variables based on what type of entity or enemy it is. It'll be different variables. Because of this entity type ID, I'd be able to change the variables, and the variables would be things like position and maybe the direction. I also should be able to use the hotkeys on the keyboard. So R to rotate, for example, I should be able to, if I click and drag and I'm hitting the thing, I should be able to move it. Maybe I should have a doodad. I should make a little create handles that assist in moving selected objects instead of deselecting on click. So that would be good. And then I need to be able to delete. Make it easy to delete objects. The right side inspector should have a delete button, and then you could use a hotkey as well. That's all going to speed me up. All right, everybody, it is past how long I wanted to stream tonight, so I'm going to call it a night. Feel free, if you'd like to get a little bit more involved, join our Discord, and it'll let you know when I'm streaming. Typically, I will start streaming around 8 p.m. Eastern, starting to get into that more regularly, and a little bit on the weekends. What I do is GameDev, and I'm doing it in C++, and I'm hopefully this game gets out there. I'm making a lot of progress, and I've got some artists working on it now, so there's gonna be a lot of new things coming soon. And hope that people enjoy watching this. So I'll catch you all later, and thank you for stopping by again. All right, you all have a good night. And bye-bye.